Today, we will pick the top 5 best poker tournaments of all time. The format is simple. I get 5, he gets 5. Whoever goes first, the next person gets 2. We snake our way until the rosters are complete. Parker, welcome in.
Thank you. I'm ready.
So the greatest poker tournaments of all time.
Yeah.
We deliberately leave these open-ended. It's open to interpretation. What makes a great poker tournament? Prestige, prize pool, memories, nostalgia, player fields. Who wants to go first?
Well, I went first in the last one, but that was just kind of like because you didn't want to go first, right? So like I feel like we should flip for it this time.
Okay, I'm running random number generator right now like a true poker player between 1 and 100. If it's over 50, you go first. If it's under 50, I go first.
Done.
66, you go first.
Let's freaking
go. And then I get 2.
All right, well, let me sit up for this. Let me get comfy. All right, for my
Let's
first...
sit up. This is a big This is the
overall...
This is what you claim to be the greatest poker tournament of all time.
I've already won the first competition, guaranteed. I mean, 100%.
We don't know. At the time of filming, we don't know.
It's a fact. It's a fact. I've won the first one.
After the first episode of Snake Draft, we turned to you, the people, in the community tab here on YouTube, who had the better draft, Team Spraggy, Team Parker, and we were the resounding 53% of the results. I am your winner. Snake Draft, Spraggy 1, tonkaaaa 0.
And I feel like getting first pick here, choosing, as I'm sure everyone is well aware, the WSOP main event. I feel like I've won this list as well. You know, I feel like it's really hard to lose from here.
That's it?
I mean, yeah, I think one list or one tournament, I think it's all over. Because the WSOP main event, no other poker tournament in the world can hold a candle to it. There's just no chance. It is the greatest tournament. It has the most prestige, the biggest prize pool every year for, you know, the buy-in level. There's no way anything comes close to having the history the WSOP main event has. I mean, at once, the first one, I believe, was basically a vote. And since then, it is just the numbers steadily rise and rise and rise. And it's the greatest tournament every year. I mean, everyone in every walk of life that plays poker aims to play this tournament when they start playing. So, yeah, I mean, you could go ahead and let us know your top overall pick and even your second one. But, I mean, yeah, WSOP main event. What can you say?
Well, hold up. Hold up.
Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
WSOP main event, I will, I guess, concede to a point, and we'll get into discussions of this down the road, but it's very hard to argue against it as number 1 overall pick. It's the main event, and it is the main event, right? It is the World Series of Poker, like you say. It's where everybody wants to play. Main event winners go down in like history. We can all name main event winners. So like, yeah, it's very, very tough to argue against it. It would have been my number 1 pick. I don't think it would have been not anyone else's number 1 pick. That said, this is a snake draft with the strongest overall 5, and the strength of the WSOP main event is not enough to lead to a win. We wouldn't bother doing this, right? Because you just roll the dice, whoever picks first gets the WSOP event. I don't think it's that far out in front. I don't think it's even close to that far out in front. I think it's a great tournament. I think it's probably still the most prestigious tournament of all time.
No, I've won.
But I would have taken it number 1 pick. I concede. If anyone watching would have picked something else at number 1, let us know. But I think WSOP main event number 1. Okay, I'll give you it.
I'd love to hear what could even hold a candle as your number 1 overall pick. I'd love to hear it.
Well, that would have been my number 1 overall pick, but there's great tournaments out there.
Let's hear it.
With my top of my list, top of my roster, the PokerStars Players Championship. The 25K, no limit hold'em, PokerStars Players Championship. Now, I accept that this is a tournament that has only taken place twice in the history of our great game. This is only a tournament that has run twice. But having been privileged enough to play both of them,
Spraggy's behind.
This will be a good pot to win for me.
Does commentary for a living, everybody. Boom. He gets the double up.
Skill game.
there is nothing like this tournament. $25,000 buy-in, but of course, Platinum Pass is given away to qualified people, which means that in the first one, there were like 300 people who'd been free rolled in. Second one, we had 400 Platinum Passes. You basically have a bunch of people, amateurs from all walks of life, from all poker backgrounds, who play all stakes of poker, some of whom play very little poker at all, but play in like pub leagues, local leagues, community leagues, who get to play a $25,000 buy-in in the Bahamas. Nothing is as magical and gives an experience to poker players from every background, all poker players, not just people who can play the 10K, than the PSPC does. I've never felt, and I've played the main event, I played WSOP main event, great tournament. I've never felt like a buzz or an atmosphere or a sense of joy of so many people, especially like on the bubble once the bubble burst, people who were in on a free roll and min cash or whatever, 25k the first time, 30k, whatever it was this year. I'd never felt that anywhere else playing poker, and I played a lot of fucking live poker and online poker.
That's just because you haven't cashed the main event?
I haven't cashed the main event, but and I get it. I'm sure there's a similar feeling in the main event, but those people put up 10k one way or another. Okay, some of them are qualifiers,
yeah, exactly,
whatever. But like the 25k PSPC, I could see them. I could see the main event, but the PSPC 25k is an incredibly special tournament, and I think it's a very worthy top pick.
Fair. Completely fair.
So now I get another go. I get to lock in a second pick. Obviously, like picking the main event's pretty big advantage. My first pick of second round here. It's really tough, man. I'm gonna go for something like way out.
Oh wow, okay.
Like way left field.
Hit me.
Because we've got a lot of big brands. We've got a lot of big live brands. We've got a lot of online brands. I'm gonna go best poker tournament of all time. A home game.
Wow, interesting. I like it a lot. I wouldn't have chosen that. That wouldn't even come to mind, but that's honestly huge. That's really nice.
Forget your grand stage. Forget your big buy-ins. Forget your big fields. Forget big prize pools or playing with elite pros or magical moments. Is there a better tournament to play than a home game with your mates? Is that really not where we all started? Is that not really what it's all about? How often do you get together? This is me when I started playing when I was, in university or just in college or whatever. Round a kitchen table, 5ers in, 10ers in, whatever, with 5 or 6 mates, a few beers and a game of cards. So to me, and we still get to do it very occasionally, friends will get together for like a birthday party or something, and that old poker crew will get back together and play 6 or 7 of us around a kitchen table. And I can tell you right now, some of my best poker memories, the hands that I talk about, are from the games that we used to play where something happened, or some hand, or some bad beat, or some cooler, or someone reacted some way, or did something some way. And I get him around that kitchen table and playing a poker tournament for a 10 quid buy-in or a 5 quid buy-in with rebuys, whatever. That is arguably the greatest poker tournament of all time.
That is one of the spots that you can have the most fun playing poker. 100%. That's a fantastic pick. Not one that I would have chosen. Not one that would have even come to mind. And that's just my hat's off to you, sir. Great pick.
Thank you. So that's 2 for me, 1 for you. You have WSOP main event locked in. Round 2, pick 2.
Round 2, pick 2 for me. What are we going with here? I've got it doesn't really matter what I choose here. I'll stick with the World Series of Poker and go with the 50K PPC. Just an incredibly elegant, prestigious, high roller tournament, big money, all the games in poker, which I know maybe not a big deal for you, but as I get older, as I play more games, as I come to respect the game of poker more, I just have a lot more respect for the guys that crush these fields. But yeah, the Poker Players Championship 50K buy-in at the World Series of Poker is honestly the only poker tournament in the world that I strive or want to one day play, which would just require me to be in, an incredibly significantly better financial position, because it's a high-stakes poker tournament playing a bunch of variants.
Case Money Man making his way to Vegas.
With my last 50K into the PPC we go, boys. I don't even watch the WSOP main apart from maybe some final table action if it's exciting. Yeah. But the 50K PPC, I've watched the last 4 or 5.
So just to fill me in, it's 8 game,
10 games, I believe.
It's 10 games. So
I'm pretty sure it's 10 games. Yeah,
it's your Badoogies, it's your Raz, it's your studs, it's your draws, it's your PLO, the PLO 8, whatever. No limit hold'em, right?
Yeah, not exactly those games, but yeah, it's
But along those lines, it's a test of a poker player across all formats, or like as many formats as is reasonable. And I'm right in thinking that Jungle Man's won it 2 years in a row, the last 2 years.
Yeah. Oh, wow, dude.
He's gone back to back.
We've really passed over Jungle Man in our list of greatest go poker players, honestly. Man,
that's actually true. That's such a big late admission.
Yeah, I just stumbled into that now. That's nuts, actually. Man, we're going to get roasted in the comments on that first video.
Okay, so far, main event Parker and 50K Players Championship Parker. I've taken the PSPC, the PokerStars Players Championship Platinum Pass, and home games. So round 3, pick 1, goes to you, Parker. We're snaking down. You get another one.
Yes, sir. And I just got to come in with pretty Easy choice, the Sunday Million at number 3 for me. Easily, I remember being 14 years old looking at the old PokerStars lobby and like watching the final table of the Sunday Million and just like looking at that $215 buy-in and being like, I think I was 15 at the time. My dad used to play online, of course. And just seeing that tournament and be like, wow, one day I will play that poker tournament. All I need to do is get a bankroll big enough where I can play the Sunday Million every single Sunday. And yeah, fast forward many years later, I've never won it, but I have gotten second. I've made a couple final tables, and it's just one of the greatest online. They've got the greatest online poker tournament that's been around forever. Everyone in the world that plays poker has ever opened on an online poker site, I feel like knows this tournament and strives to play it.
Agreed. I obviously this is like an adversarial format. You got to decide who's got the best list, but it's very hard to argue against the Sunday Million. I think for online tournaments, that would have been my number one pick. I've never
100%.
final tabled it.
Ooh.
I folded aces on that deep run. Remember on that old video I had of our video where we reviewed our hands, the first episode of that, where, spoiler alert, I played a big hand with aces. I think I'm okay with a fold. I don't know. I think I'm gonna fold.
Spraggy, what are you doing, buddy? Oh no!
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Spraggy times out with aces on the river, the best hand.
Oh my god.
Great hand.
That was like one of my most memorable Sunday Million hands. But I think online it has the crown, right?
Strong 3 first picks here. Let's see what you've got.
You have a very strong 3 first picks. I think home games to me though is just listen, audience, when you're deciding who's got the best
You can't
lineup
butter up
tournaments
the
there,
audience, dude. You can't butter up the audience.
I just want them to think about their memories and their friends and vote with their hearts.
Pick number 3.
Round 3, pick 3 for me. EPT Barcelona main event. Now, this speaks towards like the EPT kind of in an overall sense from a player's experience perspective. I think the European Poker Tour, it's very, very clean as a player in terms of its organization, in terms of the experience you get, the quality of the dealers, the quality of the card room. For me, Barcelona is the jewel in that EPT crown. It's the biggest in terms of its field. It's, I think, in a fantastic location. If you bust, you're right there on the beach. You're right there by the bars, by the restaurants. It's a very like nice, spacious, airy card room. It's, it's a huge field with a great prize pool, life-changing money. This year we had an incredible rail for that EPT Barcelona main event that was like absolutely electric. And I think EPT Barcelona is the European event that most people, much similar to the WSOP main, that people like look forward to. That's a pretty reasonable like big European live event lock in at number 3. I don't think it quite has like the history and nostalgia of the main event, but in terms of like as a poker playing player, that's one of the key events of the year.
A poker playing player, huh? That's huge.
No, you know what I mean though. Like,
yes, I know what you
like,
mean.
In terms of where I'm going to go and hang out, and all my mates are going to be there, all my other poker friends are going to be there. Everyone's in Barcelona.
True.
In Barcelona. I want to swing into online. So this is my round 4. We're snaking round 4, pick 4.
Hit me.
There is an obvious one. Do I want it? I don't think I do. I think I might want my one ahead of this. I'm taking the big 109.
Oh, wow.
Boring, isn't it? Oh, it's good. We won. What a fantastic river. Congratulations. Big 109. I'm taking the big 109 as second online event on this list. Obviously, you took the Sunday Million. And I do think the Sunday Million is a much bigger tournament than the big 109. But for me, the big 109, and I want to bring this back to being like a poker player again, right? The big 109, how many of the people in our come up, and probably more particularly your come up, play the big 109 every day? That is the core of the schedule. You're online for the, back in the day, online for the big 109. It's there. It's consistent. It's always been there. It's a non-PKO. It's an old school tournament. It's a proper sort out. It's there to this day. Memories of people coming up in poker, their first wins in the big 109, sweating the big 109, railing the big 109.
It was a big baddie.
Like,
it was a big baddie.
It's just like part of the core of online poker. You know what I mean? It just in terms of like pure nostalgia. I think the big 109 is a nice pick.
It's got the properties, definitely from a nostalgia point of view, for sure.
Wait, so that's 4 for me?
That is 4 for you. So I'm coming in with my 4th and 5th here. Then you'll have your last pick there for the online tournament, because I'm going to go with 2 live poker tournaments. I'm going to go with, in that pick round 4, pick number 1. I am going to rock and roll with the one drop $1 million buy-in poker tournament. There was a couple of them, obviously only 2 of them. I don't think there's any plans to run another one, but I mean, a truly epic tournament when it rock and rolled around. It was incredible to watch people just battle it out for $1 million. And I mean, some really iconic moments come from it. Obviously, man losing aces versus aces for, in $1 million buy-in. The biggest buy-in televised poker tournament, I feel like, in history. I can't see it being topped again soon.
I mean, listen, I have a little bit like, I've really struggled to get excited about events where the buy-in is $1 million, because if you can buy in for $1 million, I'm never that invested in if you win. And I feel like a lot of people, especially for this tournament, are pieced out, swapped, sold. Everyone's got tiny fractions of themselves. It's $1 million buy-in, so it's like everyone's a millionaire already. It's. I mean, maybe might not be. Maybe they're sold to get in, but for me, it's like,
that's just your
I get what you're saying, biggest buy-in of all time, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Great moments in these tournaments. Do we remember?
Yeah, the aces against the aces hand. Yeah, I mean, I can remember hands from it, and it was, just because you're exclusively looking for an underdog story in every walk of life. That's why you support Manchester United these days. It's
because I am an underdog, sir.
Yeah, just
I'm
because
fighting for the people in the home games on my list. I'm a man of the people, not like you. You're in your $1 million buy-ins. You're up there in your ivory tower looking down on the rest of us. Of course you would pick that tournament. The people are with me in the comments. Thank you.
We'll see about that. I very specifically remember a satellite running at my local casino that was like a satellite into a satellite. And like the second satellite was $100K buy-in to then the $1 million one drop. I couldn't win into the free roll, because the only way you could play the original free roll to get into the $100K buy-in was to win in some weird, awkward way through like phone-ins on the radio. A friend of mine went. It was crazy. It was like a huge giveaway.
Okay, like it moves up in my list a little bit. It's not just the high rollers in the ivory towers looking down on the rest of us.
The biggest and the biggest and the biggest. And I'm from North America, so that's what the folks over here are about. But for my last pick, a little bit, another EPT. Round 5, pick number 1 will be EPT Prague for me. EPT Barcelona was a good pick. In at 3 for you, I think. Best EPT, in my opinion, my favorite one. Look forward to it the most. But a close second for me is definitely EPT Prague. I think I've only missed 1 year in the last 10 years of going to EPT Prague. It's where I've had my most success, which is obviously makes me a little bit sentimental, a little bit biased maybe.
Parker Talbot scores his best ever result on the EPT. He came 6th in this tournament in 2018. Fast forward 4 years, it's a 5th place finish for more than €250,000.
What a boss.
I would say 100% my top 2 favorite spots to play poker in Europe, and my, I guess, second favorite poker. I like it more, or I like it a little bit less than Barcelona. Barcelona is my number 1, but EPT Prague is definitely a close second for like overall tournament series. Maybe WSOP main event gets squeaked around in there, but yeah, EPT Prague is a really great stop.
It's a great shout. I mean, obviously this takes place in December every year, so you have Christmas markets, winter markets. It's nice and cold there, and with the history, the architecture of Prague, often like there's a lot of snow on the ground. You go out for goulash and a few drinks with friends. Again, this is an event where a load of people are going to be there. You've got great poker. Fields are really good. There was like 4,000 runners in the main this year, right?
And my birthday.
In the 1K National.
And my birthday's there every year.
And your birthday's there. Huge. And you final tabled it this year. It's a great stop. And again, it's a European Poker Tour event. So you have the organization, like everything is just like very smooth, very good for players. So I get it. It's nice. It's no EPT Barcelona.
I mean, it was my 5th pick, and that was your 3rd pick. So I feel like that right there shows the difference in the gap, right? That shows.
I've got an incredible 5th pick.
I mean, I'm ready for it. I'm ready.
No, listen. So I want to just my mind is somewhere here, and we'll talk about some notable omissions. W-Coop main event, Scoop main event, like these series, these are not on there, and I'm not taking those. I think they are great. I've heard amazing things about Irish Poker Open Irish main event.
Mm-hmm.
UK IBT main event was the first big one that I final tabled in Galway, so that has like a special thing in my heart. I'm not taking any of those though.
What?
I'm taking I think this rounds out my nice roster with PSPC, home games, EPT Barcelona, Big 109, and fifth round, second pick of the fifth round here, one for me. Did you know, Parker, that Kathy Liebert, you know Kathy Liebert?
Yes.
Did you know that Kathy Liebert has a $1 million score in a live poker tournament?
I did not know that.
She is one of, if not the most winningest female players of all time.
Okay.
Because she has a $1 million score from March 2002 on a card player cruise $8,000 limit hold'em event. And that is my number 5 pick on this roster. And I shall tell you for why. Now, the rumor I heard about this event was that it was guaranteed $1 million for first.
Oh my God,
However,
wait, tell me second place is like 80 grand.
However, it got barely any runners. I think it was a Party Poker Millions thing, right?
Okay.
Second place, Burj Kacharian. Apologies on the pronunciation. Second place, $93,600. And Kathy Liebert took first for $1 million. Because the $1 million prize had to be guaranteed for the first place, but there was no guarantee on the rest of the event, the rest of the entrants.
Oh, man.
It's surely the sickest poker tournament of all time. The field can't have been bigger than 100 runners. It's limit hold'em, 8K buy-in. She wins $1 million because it's guaranteed for $1 million. Second place gets 93K. And do you know who's in third place on this cruise ship tournament?
Tell me.
Phil Hellmuth.
Yes!
For $62,000.
Love that from Bill.
I could only imagine the rage of Hellmuth playing on this cruise ship, tries to snipe the $1 million prize, comes third for 62K, Burj Kacharian comes second for 93K, and then Kathy Liebert, in what has got to be the sickest payout structure of all time, just ships $1 million for first on a cruise ship playing limit hold'em due to some sort of like weird party poker guaranteeing the money for $1 million, but like nobody fucking turned up to play it. A very out of left field pick, but just the sickness of it, the absurdity of it all, and a cool story. That's my top 5 greatest poker tournaments of all time.
I like it. Honestly, your list gives the WSOP main event a run for its money. I feel like I should still scoop because I've got the WSOP main event. I've got some other great tournaments on there as well. But I mean, home game and that tourney, those are 2 fantastic tournaments.
See, that to me is what... Listen, I don't want to go into a Helmuthian style rant here, Parker, but that to me is what makes it a great snake draft player, okay? No limit hold'em, I'm world class. Raz, I'm world class. Snake drafting, I'm world class.
You didn't even understand the format in the first video.
But look, that's the poker player's mind, right? How quickly you adjust to the circumstances, you start adjusting to the game. I know you're going for the layup, you're taking WSOP main event, you're taking Sunday Million, they're great tournaments, sure. But a home game and Kathy Liebert winning $1 million on a cruise ship?
In an 8K limit hold'em event, that's amazing.
We will leave it for the people to decide. Let us know who wins this episode. Do you take Parker's roster of 5 best poker tournaments of all time, or do you take mine? If you have any notable admissions, let us know in the comments below. Parker, I think I have you beat this week.
No.
But thank you very much for at least trying to take part.
I still got it.
Parker thinks he's going 2-0. If you haven't seen the first episode, Greatest Poker Players of All Time, check it out. That concludes this week's Snake Draft. Thank you for watching.